Tuesday, October 4th, 2016, Monaco 64, home of alternative economics and contrarian views. Yeah, it's just gone, it's around 9 o'clock a.m. London. So early in the US, still 4 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Markets are moving a little bit, especially the currencies. The British pound is making a 31-year low, so we broke through the low from a few months ago after post-Brexit. That low had been 127.96. Right now we're at 127.79. The pound's traded down to 127.56. Gold is still very, how can I say, frustrating in US dollars. We're stuck now at 13.08, down about $3.50. I personally think, it's still being kept down by the central banks. It's a managed price, and so is silver. The reason why they do this is they don't want people, the average person in the street, looking at gold and saying, wow, it's going up, I'm going to go buy some. And even for the people who are thinking of buying, they keep them like uncertain about buying, because you have days, when silver is smacked down and so is gold smacked down. But people need to look at the bigger picture and see that gold and silver longer term protect, savers against currency debasement. For example, in British pounds, we're now at 1,024, and just before Brexit we dropped to around 730 pounds. So those people in the UK who have been holding gold have been protected. I know in the US it's been frustrating, but nevertheless we're up from below 1,100 in the beginning of December. We're at 13.08, and I think that's what the central banks do. In the long term, they cannot keep the price of gold and silver down forever. If they could, gold would still be at $35 an ounce, or you could even argue, it would still be at $20.67 an ounce, which was the price before 1934. So yeah, I think they just want to keep as many people out of buying gold and silver to protect themselves, because gold and silver are the enemy of fiat currencies. That's what people need to know. And especially for the UK viewers, there's a lot of distractions out there. Notwithstanding, all the entertainment, all the politics, that goes on, not only in the UK, but every other Western society. They're also distracting people with things like the FTSE. For example, the FTSE 100 today is up 82 points. It's above 7,000. And I bet you, if you see people, when I meet people, friends that I know and I play golf with, they'll say, wow, the FTSE is up above 7,000. That's great. But none of them say, wow, the pound's really weak. We're at a 31-year low. Look at the gold price, how high it is. So that's what they want. They want people to stay in the system. So what they do is they control the gold price. I know the gold price is up in pounds, but I think, personally, and you might think it's strange, but it's actually the Bank of England and right now who's been keeping gold down. And why do I say the Bank of England? Well, they control the LBMA, which is one of the biggest paper markets in the world for gold and physical. So according to them, they control that market. So when they see their currency dropping like that, they need to keep the ultimate currency in check. And that's why it's been so frustrating, these last week or 2 weeks for gold. I think the Bank of England is trying to protect, they're not trying to protect the pound, because if they were, they would have raised rates to protect the pound from dropping. But they're trying to make sure that they debase the currency, but keep the public blind to it. So they need to keep gold and silver in check. because when people see gold and silver go up, it's something in people's like conscience that tells them that there's something wrong. So they need to keep the precious metals in check, which is frustrating, I know. And the other thing I'd like to talk about is the Shemitah. There's a lot of talk about the global currency reset. And it was kind of, I've made a video in June, end of June, about what I thought about currency resets. And I said that in the system that we have of free floating exchange rates, unlike the pre-1971 Bretton Woods system where all currency rates were fixed to the dollar and gold. Now all the currencies float, and I said then that I think the reset is ongoing. The British pound is being reset as we speak. The only special thing about October 1st, October 2nd is that the yuan has been officially put into the IMF reserve currency called the SDR. And that's kind of a reset for the SDR. And some people, are saying, we are October 2nd or 1st is come and gone and nothing's happened. Well, these things don't happen overnight, but you can bet that in the next few months, years, that the yuan will be more and more important and a bigger part of the SDR. As to, financial meltdown after the Shemitah, that people have been talking about, I don't know. It's just something that I've looked at, that in the past it's interesting that it's worked. Jonathan Kahn has written a few books, about how the Shemitah coincided in 2008 and 2001 with market events. So, I'm open to all ideas, and it doesn't mean to say that I set them all in stone. It just helps me to look at the world and try to determine what's happening. But one thing I know that's happening, though, is that more and more debt is being created by our governments. There's an article here on Zero Hedge by, let's see here. It's by, what's his name? Simon Black of Sovereign Men. And because the U.S. fiscal year ended now in the end of September, and it says U.S. ends fiscal 2016 with 1.4 trillion debt increase, third largest in history. 1.4 trillion. So we're now at 19 trillion, 573 billion, the national debt. That's just the government debt. The thing is, we're told by the powers that be, the president, the Federal Reserve, same thing here in the UK, that they're paying down the deficits. Well, they talk about it as they're paying it down. No, you pay down the debt. Yeah, but the only way you can pay down the debt is to have surpluses. So, this is like 1.4 trillion. That's like 7.5% of the U.S. economy. Was in new borrowing last fiscal year. It's crazy, and to say that they're paying down the deficit is a joke. It's the same thing here in the UK. We were supposed to have a government budget surplus by last year, and now I think that's out the window. They're talking about 2020 now. I would be surprised if that would happen then. So that's one thing that I actually, can tell you that's happening, and it's set in stone, that the currency that the government uses, be it in the US, the UK, elsewhere in Europe, those currencies are going to be debauched. I forgot how you pronounce that, but they're going to be debased. And, they're not going to be worth as much in 10 years or 20 years' time as, they're worth now, i.e. they're not going to buy as much, in 10, 20 years' time, especially when you hear, these central bankers saying that, oh, we have to maintain a 2% inflation target. You know, that's ridiculous. Well, and the reason they do that is they're mandated by the governments and the Congress or Parliament in the UK to debase the currency, because governments are the biggest debtors in the economy, and they need to be able to carry that, to keep that welfare state, and to keep buying votes, and that great democracy going, where you people take from one group of society to give to the other. And that's not only for the welfare state, it goes also for, excuse me, the corporate warfare, intelligence sector, which is also just, sucking resources away from one sector of society, So it's a problem for the left and right. And so, yeah, that's one thing I can say, is that it is definite that in 10, 15 years' time, the dollar in your pocket or the pound in your pocket will buy a lot less. I remember, I did go to university in the States in the 80s, and you could, I don't know, if you could use a few quarters and, to buy a soda from the Coke machine, or whatever you want to call it. The last time I went in the States, they've now you have to put dollar notes. You can't use coins anymore because everything has gone up in value, and the dollar has been debased. So yeah, that's it for now. Earlier, so I'll give you an update now as I finish this video. Gold is at 1308.20, so down 3. That's in dollars. The Dow is 18,288, up 40. S&P up 5. That's up 0.25%. Silver is actually unchanged. 1881 here, unchanged. To 6 p.m. New York time. The pound is at 127.73. That's down 0.5%. The euro's down as well, 111.78. That's down 1/3%. Deutsche Bank is actually up in Germany this morning. It's at 11 euros 84. That's up 28 cents or 2.5%. What else? No, I was also reading an article on Bloomberg.com. It says Fed's Mester says case for November hike will likely be strong. So you've got a Fed meeting on November 1st and 2nd, and this Loretta Mester, she's the president of the Cleveland Fed. She's saying, that meeting is live. We might hike interest rates. Yeah, sure you will, just a week before the election. This is the same woman that a few months ago was in Australia and said that, the Fed would consider helicopter money. And then she came back, because it was all over the alternative media and she denied it. And now she's a hawk. So that's it for now. I'll keep you updated when things evolve. So if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, share it, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. And for donations, if you'd like to donate, there's some links below in the description. Take care. Bye.